Hey, what's going on guys? This is the Dean List back again with another video. This time I have a building guide featuring Serath. Now since her release, Serath has been #1 bae. She's definitely my favorite hero to play, and that's because she has an awesome kit. Her kit has a pretty high skill cap as well, so that allows you to do some really amazing things once you get the hang of her. Like for example, with her Heaven's Fury ability, you can completely nullify both Countess and Aurora's ultimate abilities. Now 2 patches ago, Serath received a huge buff to her basic attack damage, her speed, health, and armor. Now in my opinion, before patch 38.3, Serath was a little underpowered. I was still able to do well with her, but I thought that she needed to gain attack speed per level to increase her DPS. As a melee carry, Serath has to put herself in harm's way to deal damage, so it makes sense that her DPS should be higher than any other ranged carry, especially if Epic intends for people to play her as a carry in the safe lane. However, because of the buff to her health and armor, Epic made it so that Serath is not only viable as a safe lane carry, but is a phenomenal jungler and even a great offlaner as well. Now I want to be clear on this. The best position for Serath to play is indisputably as a jungler, but in this building guide, I wanted to focus on picking her as an offlaner. This Saturday, I'll be competing in the PCA tournament, and unless she's banned, I'm most likely going to be running Serath in the offlane. I'm going to be streaming the PCA tournament on my channel, so if you'd like to follow my team and our games, you can do so by watching my live stream. Now this build is very similar to my jungle build that I normally use when I play. The only difference being is that instead of using a Siphon as one of my early game items, I have a guard token and a healer token. In addition, I have an extra 6-point whirling wand that I use to build more attack speed and damage. I've included a link to both decks in the description below. If you use this building guide, leave a comment down below letting me know how it worked out for you. If you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button so that you can be the first to know when I release new building guides. Hope you guys enjoy the video. For the deck list, I have 1 cast token, 1 guard token, 1 health potion, 1 strike token, and 1 healer token. For equipment, I have 1 Assassin's Ward, 1 Brawler's Ward, Spear of the Rift Hunter, Void Steel Dagger, 4 Whirling Wands, Thirst Fang, and Sword of the Altar. For the build order, you're going to want to start with a guard token and a healer token. Once you back, the next card you're going to want to pick up is going to be your Assassin's Ward. After that, your next 3 cards are going to be your 6-point Whirling Wands. After you max these cards out, you're going to want to pick up your 9-point Thirst Fang. Once your 9-point Thirst Fang is maxed out, you're going to want to equip your 11-point Whirling Wand. Once you get to 50 card points, you're going to want to sell your Assassin's Ward and 2 of your 6-point Whirling Wands, and you're going to want to equip your 15-point Spear of the Rift Hunter, and equip your Sword of the Altar. The final card in the build is going to be your 10-point Void Steel Dagger. Now for some gameplay. To start off the game, you're going to want to grab a dummy ward and place it on the opposite side of the fog wall of your lane. Grabbing this early dummy ward will not only protect you from ganks, but it will also allow your jungler to possibly gank the enemy team support and ADC. After placing the dummy ward, you're going to want to recall back to base and grab your real starting items. The starting items that I prefer when I offlane are a guard token and a healer token. Now most people use a health potion. In fact, when I was actually playing this game, I chose the wrong deck. I chose my jungler deck, so I was using a health potion. But what I found is that by using a guard token in the beginning, it definitely gives you better sustain and allows you to absorb more damage from the enemy support and ADC. Most of the damage that you're going to be taking from the support and the ADC is going to be basic attack damage, so the guard token definitely helps mitigate that. Once in offlane, you're going to want to focus on 2 things: gaining XP so that you have a level advantage over the support and ADC, and also maintaining or keeping pace with the ADC on CXP or card points. Since Serath is a carry, you don't want to fall too far behind on card points, or else you're going to be a detriment to your team. This is one of the reasons offlane isn't the preferred position or role for her. However, because she has a great escape and she has immunity to CC with Heaven's Fury, you can be quite aggressive with last hitting. In addition, the buff Serath received to both her health and armor allow her to sustain a lane quite well. Here I'm leaning up against a Lieutenant Bellic and Grim. They're being very aggressive trying to push my tower quickly. Now one of the mistakes I see a lot of offlaners making is trying to protect their tier 1 tower at the cost of their life. So there's a real important point that I want to emphasize here. Yes, you want to maintain your tier 1 tower as long as possible, but losing your tier 1 tower early isn't the worst thing in the world. In fact, you can definitely use that to your advantage. If you lose your tier 1 tower in the first 5 to 8 minutes or so, you can do 2 different things. 1, you can freeze your lane to prevent the enemy team's ADC from having free farm, and so that you have access to safe farm. Or 2, you can set your lane and rotate to other lanes. In this game, for the most part, I decided to set my lane and rotate. Their Grim decided that he wanted to freeze the lane after I set it, so I used that opportunity to rotate and help my teammates out. Here, I was able to rotate to mid lane and help my team secure a kill on Bellica at the right river buff. Less than a minute later, my team then invades the enemy team's jungle and we're able to secure another kill on the enemy team's Bellica. As you can see, because I did a good job of soaking up XP while I was offlaning, I have a pretty significant level advantage over the enemy team's support and carry. So even though my farm isn't that great at this point in the game, I have a lot more health and basic armor from just being a higher level. Now one way to make up the difference in card points between the ADC and myself is to take Raptors. Here it was roughly 21 minutes into the game and Raptors had not yet been taken, so with the help of the mid laner, I'm able to solo all 3 Raptors really quickly. Now usually you wouldn't want to put Raptors on your offlaner, but since I'm Serath and I'm a melee carry, it's perfectly fine that it didn't go to our safe lane ADC. This allowed me to get to 27 card points, and at this point in time in the match, I was only 2 card points behind the enemy team's carry, even though he had been spending most of his time freezing the lane and farming. Now, as an offlaner, rotating is very important, but in order to do so, you must set your lane. To set your lane, kill the back range minions, which will allow your minions to develop a slow push. Once your lane is set, you're free to rotate to other lanes. Another benefit of setting lanes is that even if your team loses a team fight, the enemy team won't be able to push objectives because they have to go defend their towers. Furthermore, if one of them is forced to defend a tower before the team fight actually starts, your team will have an advantage. Here I'm able to rotate mid and help my team out. I sneak behind the enemy team's gadget who's focused on my team's Chimera, and I'm able to easily secure a kill with Chastise and a few basic attacks. Since I took damage from both Belica and Quang's ultimate abilities, I'm pretty low health, so I use Ascend to disengage. Now one of the things that my team noticed during the game was that the enemy team was over-rotating. Oftentimes the enemy team's Scrim and Belica would leave safe lane to go off lane to Deathball. Since my team was doing a great job of defending 4v5, this game it gave me the opportunity to split push left lane. I did this a lot early game, which allowed me to easily take their tier 1 tower, and I also did this again mid game to alleviate pressure on right side before rotating. So here I split push left lane, and then as a team fight is about to break out near Orb Prime, I take the horizontal jump pad to flank the enemy team's Grim who has no idea that I'm there. After helping out Yin get the kill, we're able to secure another kill on the enemy team's Quang, and then we're able to take Orb Prime. Now you'll notice that all 5 of us didn't stay at Orb Prime. Since we had 2 ADCs and Chimera, Chimera and I are able to easily secure Orb Prime by ourselves, and Decker and Yin, who has a phenomenal wave clear, begin pushing mid hard. By the time we have secured Orb Prime, Yin and Decker are at the mid inhibitor. With only Belica alive, she's powerless to stop our entire team from taking the core. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, smash that thumbs up button and leave a comment down below. If you're new to my channel, hit that subscribe button and that bell so that you're the first person to know when I release new content. Like I said earlier in this video, this Saturday I'm going to be streaming the PCA tournament live on my YouTube channel. My team features another YouTuber, The Great Donut, so this will be a great opportunity to watch our competitive team in action. We won the last PCA tournament that was 3 weeks ago, so we're looking to repeat. I'm working on a sick building guide for you again, so that's the next building guide video you should be on the lookout for. With that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all soon. Peace!